Welcome to Emotions and Eating with Nicola Beer. Nicola controlled her feelings using food for 25 years, so she knows how draining it is to be constantly thinking about or acting out with food. Thankfully, having made an amazing breakthrough in her recovery, her mission became about helping others escape the unsatisfying cycle of frustration and self-medication with food. Nicola is determined to help you find your inner strength so you can be healthy, gain confidence, feel great, and be at peace with yourself and food.
Hi and welcome, so happy you're here. I'm going to be talking about a few important topics today around addictions. What can you do if you are in a relationship with someone who is addicted to something that's affecting your relationship right now and it's bringing you down or making you feel confused or fed up? If you yourself are in recovery and with the isolation and the stress going on right now, it's sending you to really have the urge to go back to your choice of addiction, and this is creating stress and unhappiness in the relationship or in your own life, and what to do if you have relapsed, if you have gone back to your old habits because of the stress. I wanted to address all of this because I know that a lot of people are struggling. I'm getting emails and calls, people booking my free 20-minute session with me, talking about their concern that their partner is drinking a lot of alcohol or concerned that they are eating too much themselves and they don't know how to stop eating. And so I first really want to get the message out to you that you are not alone. It's a very challenging time right now. Emotions are up and down. It's a completely new experience for all of us, and change can be difficult. So we're going to be talking about how to support yourself, but let's first of all look at what addiction is and why so many of us are finding it difficult right now to be the best version of ourselves. So addictions are defined as an intense craving, lack of control when it comes to a particular substance or thing, and the compulsion to overcome or use a substance regardless of the consequences. My definition of addictions is using something to fix your feelings. You're using it because you want to change how you're feeling, you want to escape how you're feeling, you want to block out how you're feeling, or you've become to rely on it to shift and change how you feel. And when there are feelings of panic or worry are heightened, you may notice an urge to go back to your addictive behaviors. Right now, you may be really tempted to go back. You may be having voices that are saying to you, it's okay, I need it, I've got to get through this. And the excuses are coming back to go back to perhaps old patterns or to increase. If you are already sort of in an addiction pattern right now, maybe the excuse is to increase that you need it more, that you need it, and this is growing. And this can cause obviously chaos in an individual's life and chaos in a relationship and chaos for the whole people that are around you. And this isn't to make you feel guilty. This is just to bring awareness and support to you and your loved ones right now, as lockdown and isolation can make it very difficult for us to maybe fight those urges. Addictions also are characterized by them having detrimental effects, and despite the detrimental effects, you keep using. Now, this can be a detrimental effect to you, a detrimental effect to those that you love, your values in life, and that's why it's important to be talking about this today. That's what I feel anyway, because I have had a huge increase in people working with me to change this in their relationships. If you, like me, have suffered any addictions or addictive patterns in the past, then you will know how delicate the recovery journey can be. Whether you were addicted to porn, food, steroids, smoking, alcohol, or other drugs, all addictions come with a very difficult journey for the person and often the loved ones around them, whether the person is in recovery or not. The actual journey of recovery often relies on contact with other people that have gone through the same things, recovery meetings, and counselling, coaching, whatever it is. That they rely on sort of the face-to-face meetings. And if people manage to just switch things by themselves and they swapped whatever they were going to with healthy things, this is all stopped now. We cannot go to our exercise centres, we cannot go to wellness bars, coffee shops, have social meetings, do volunteer work and meet people in the office, work on a passion project, and all the other different things that we used to do. This has been taken away from us at the moment. So isolation can make things a lot worse, because the social isolation for some people is leaving them with more time and loneliness. Many studies have shown that having a solid support system that can celebrate your achievements as well as check in with you can be key when it comes to staying free from the addictive behaviour. And you may find that if you're self-isolating alone, or that you're isolating with your family and your family don't understand, then it could be very difficult. And you may be finding that you're going back to old ways, or finding it very hard to stay on your healthy path right now. And sometimes people find that they are swapping one bad habit with the other. For example, replacing a drug dependency with alcohol or with food, or replacing porn with video games or whatever it is. And this can cause a lot of stress and tension for somebody. And then, of course, there can be anger if you notice that your husband or wife or other family member is going back to their old ways, making excuses, or that they're very angry and aggressive and not themselves, or withdrawn, because they're struggling. They're struggling without that support network that they've been so used to help them stay focused, happy and healthy. What makes it even more worrying is that research carried out by the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health found that there is a clear rise in substance abuse during any type of emergency and global or localised disasters. It makes sense, doesn't it? Turning to an addictive substance for comfort when you're feeling uneasy, but when it's damaging to your mind, your body and soul, it's often the worst thing that we can do to ourselves. The worst thing we can do for comfort, because it takes away comfort after the short-term hit. And then we have the self-blame, the guilt, and often things that we use to make our body feel good instantly leave our body reeling after. It can impact our mental well-being, our physical well-being, as I'm sure you already know. So why do people get addictions? Why do we get addicted to things? Well, when you're going through something stressful or something that makes you feel particularly anxious or uneasy, and you turn to drugs, alcohol or food to comfort yourself, over time your brain creates a link between the numbing of the pain or emotion with this unhealthy habit. So when you are in similar situations in the future, your brain will cause a reaction in your body that tells you to have another cream cake, another cigarette, another drink, to make you feel better. When in fact, these aren't habits that serve you or your relationships long term. It is also the reason why so many people find it difficult to give up their addictions, as their brain struggles to cope when they are withdrawing or no longer getting the substance it is used to, and causes physical withdrawal symptoms like cold sweats or feeling low, which can push people back into their habits. So why am I sharing all of this? You may be thinking, yeah, Nicola, what you've said so far is so obvious. Well, sometimes it's good to hear what is obvious and just to comfort ourselves. If we are having cravings, if we are feeling lonely, feeling stuck, it's important to reach out, and I'm going to give some tips. And I'm also sharing this because I've been working with a lot of men and women who are finding it difficult of how to communicate with their partner about their drinking, with their partner about their eating, with their partner about them staying up all night watching TV, and this is really upsetting them. Often it's not just the habit, it's the lies around it and the broken promises. And this is how addictions often ruin relationships, because the lying, the hiding can often make things a lot worse. Because for a thriving relationship, of course, we need to have trust. I also just wanted to say that many studies have shown about loneliness being a major trigger for addictions. And so many people feel lonely in their marriage. And the fact now that you're spending more time together in the house doesn't mean that you're necessarily connecting. I'm working with a lot of women to save their marriage, or men to save their marriage independently, and they are sharing with me that they are finding it very lonely because their partner is not responding to them, because their partner is doing their own thing and not really engaging in the family, because they're pulling away from them rather than going towards them during this time. And this can be very lonely. It can be lonely if you're living with somebody who isn't talking to you, or who is just disengaged, disconnected, and you may be stuck wondering, what can I do? So loneliness can affect us even if we're living with people right now. Many of you know my story already, that when I was going through a difficult financial time, I turned to alcohol, ended up drinking every night on the balcony just to go to sleep. And then I managed to control that. Life was great for a while. And then another issue happened, and insecurity and fear. And then I started cooking myself a cake every night. And this again then spiraled into massive kind of addiction to food. Thankfully now I am free of that. And it really is difficult to go through the boredom, to go through the loneliness, to go through putting the substance down and feeling the feelings. And then just sometimes you feel absolutely awful. And being able to hold yourself, to love yourself with that feeling awful. So I'm going to identify 3 key things you can do to support you right now. 3 key things that can help you if you are struggling right now to warn off an addictive behavior, if you're already having an addictive behavior and it's getting worse, and what you can do if you're living with somebody, married to somebody who is having an addictive behavior that is affecting your relationship, how to support them and how to support yourself as well. So the top 3 things I really wanted to mention. The first is identifying a good support network. This is really, really crucial. So whether you have a supportive friend you can turn to in times of needs, or a therapist that you can talk to, it's important to know who your network is. Who can you reach out to in a time of weakness? Who can you reach out to when you're just feeling so stressed, confused, alone, overwhelmed? When the urge is really there, when the voices in your head is saying to you, do it, and what can you do to escape that? So finding who you can speak to online, who's available to you, who would be a great person for you to speak to, and write a list. It's good just to have that list there, either on your phone or written down. Okay, I can call this person, this person, this person. I can send this person a WhatsApp. And sometimes it may be a list of people that you're going to share the issue with, and you're going to talk through it. And you may have another list of people that you're not going to say anything to because you maybe don't feel they would understand you, but you're going to be able to feel connected, not feel alone, feel happy, share memories or ideas, and just really have a healthy way to process your feelings, to focus on something else. And even if right now you're feeling, Nicola, I can't speak to anybody about this, I don't want to tell anyone, I don't feel like talking, then you can always use voicemails. When I work with somebody, I offer them 3 months unlimited email support to me to save their marriage or whatever we're working through. And they just literally will just leave me a voice message. because they just need to get it out of their head, out of their mind. And voice messages are a great way to connect. You can really feel someone's energy. You can really express yourself